My name's Andrew, and I'm a personal trainer, a nutrition coach, and a corrective exercise specialist. I'm also the founder of Longevity Lifestyle, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through this document which explains exactly the system and process that I use to lose over 50 pounds of fat, put on another 20 pounds of muscle, and to do so only exercising 90 minutes a week without going to the gym and without needing to give up some of my favorite food. I want to explain who this process works for because it really only works for a specific type of person. So if you're struggling with your physical health, your body, your mental health, your energy levels, or your motivation, this is the system that might help you. And this is also the system that I adapt for each of the clients that I work with. So you'll probably relate to this if you're a little bit overweight, if you're trying to lose 20 pounds or more and also build some muscle or at least see some lean muscle definition. Or if you've tried something like this before, but the weight seems to come back. If you're somebody that feels stressed, unhealthy, or drained by some of the methods you've tried, you will definitely relate to this. And if you want an approach that really fits your life, but doesn't require insane amounts of willpower, and it leaves you energized, this is definitely for you. If you don't want to take medications for the rest of your life, that's one of the primary focuses of this system. So a little bit about my story. When I was in my mid-20s, this is me at 23, I was over 50 pounds overweight. I had just undergone 4 lower body surgeries, and I was, quite frankly, really stuck in my life. And my health issues weren't just physical. They impacted my career, my relationships, my overall happiness. And at the time, I was exercising daily, and I was eating what I thought was healthy. Nothing was really seeming to work. And then on top of all that, I lost one of my best friends to an overdose. My physical, mental, and emotional health was really crashing all at once. And thankfully at the time period, because I was stuck in bed and didn't have a TV in the room, I turned to reading. So I read hundreds of different books covering topics like nutrition, fitness, biology, psychology, philosophy, mindset, really anything that might have had the answers for me. And over time, I kept collecting and testing different frameworks, which is what led to the foundational elements of this process and this system. Once I began implementing some of these, everything changed. Within the first 12 months, I lost 52 pounds. In the next 12 months, I gained 20 pounds of muscle. And most importantly, I had built a system that was enjoyable and fulfilling for me. So over 10 years later, I'm 34 right now at the time of filming this. I'm in the best shape of my life across the board. You can see here, I just did a blood test. This measured over 100 different biomarkers that showed that my biological age is younger than it was at the time during those pictures when I was sitting in that hospital bed. So younger by 11 and a half years, it looks like. Who knows how accurate this is, but my biomarkers were quite good. And I'm not just fitter, healthier, more confident, with more energy. I'm doing it with a diet and exercise system that I enjoy that really fits seamlessly into my life. And best of all, now I have a mission. It's my mission to help people like you achieve a very similar transformation. And so now we'll get into the actual process in the system. And there are really 4 key pillars to this foundation. So those are nutrition, exercise, sleep, and stress. And I want to really emphasize that you need a system that helps you nail every single pillar. If one of these is missing, it's like having a chair that only has 3 legs. It's going to be unstable. And it's not just about making the solutions effective. They have to be ones that you find enjoyable, energizing. They have to be aligned with you and your lifestyle. I'm going to quickly cover each of the pillars here and some of the core elements of them so you can implement this yourself. Pillar number 1 is nutrition. And step 1 is to shorten your eating window. And I recommend doing this 6 to 8 hours, meaning your first meal, maybe it's noon, your last meal might be 6 p.m. You want to be eating all of your meals within that window of 6 to 8 hours. The reason that this is so helpful is because your body stores short-term energy as carbohydrates and long-term energy as fat. And once that short-term energy is full, everything else gets converted into fat tissue for long-term energy. So by shortening your eating window, you're actually allowing your short-term energy to run out, which forces your body to start tapping into long-term energy and start burning fat. So this is going to improve inflammation, blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, insulin sensitivity. Most importantly, it's going to get your body accustomed to running on fat for fuel. And that metabolic flexibility is absolutely crucial for your health. I mentioned a couple of these things, but your body will start burning fat every single day. On top of that, your hunger hormones are also going to adjust to help balance your cravings. So this is going to save you time, it's going to save you money, and it's really going to become automatic after only about 2 weeks. And it works especially well when you drink 0-calorie drinks, things like coffee in the morning. You can have tea, you can have water, you can even add some lemon juice, anything that's no calories. And it also works well when you adjust your window slowly. So I recommend typically adjusting by 30 to 45 minutes per day until you're at that 6 to 8 hour window. Step number 2 is to do some form of exercise before your first meal. The reason this is important is because it's going to allow you to burn through that short-term energy faster. And when you burn through the energy, the short-term faster, your body's going to start tapping into your long-term energy or your fat much sooner. So it doesn't need to be crazy intense exercise. What it's going to do is just speed up your ability to burn fat. And as I mentioned up top, it's going to help your body's ability to be metabolically flexible, which is your ability to switch between carbohydrates and fat for fuel. As I said, linked to better overall health, lower risk of chronic disease, really good for you across the board. I recommend starting with light exercise. So even if you are just going for a 20 to 30 minute walk, doing some body weight squats, some push-ups, that's a great place to start. And don't necessarily feel like you have to do the exercise fasted if you aren't used to it, but I do think you'll find that your body actually functions very effectively when you are not digesting food because your blood is able to go into your limbs and your heart. It's really not being used to go to your stomach for digestion. And even light exercise is going to get you great results. So focus on doing this gradually. Over time, you might even get to the point where you can do intense exercise. Step number 3 is to eat 30 to 40 grams of protein in your first and last meals. Protein accomplishes 3 things. Number 1, it starts muscle protein synthesis, so it builds muscle. Number 2, it takes the most energy to digest, so it's going to burn more calories just by eating it. And number 3, it's the most filling. It's going to reduce your hunger. It's going to cause you to eat less. So it does a lot of really helpful things. And when you do it right after fasting, it protects and rebuilds your muscle tissue, especially if you exercised before you broke your fast or had that first meal. And muscle is very metabolically active tissue, meaning when you have more muscle, you have a higher resting metabolic rate. So you're going to burn more calories at rest. This is why you can see super muscular individuals go out and eat an entire pizza. They don't gain a single pound. And then if somebody's overweight, they eat an entire pizza, they may gain 2-3 pounds from that. Step number 4 is to prioritize fats over carbs for your first meal. So when you have that first meal of 40 grams of protein, combine that with fats and try to limit the carbs to as much as of an extent that you can. The reason for this is, as I mentioned above a couple times, your short-term energy storage is mainly carbohydrates. So when you break your fast with protein and fats and low carb, you keep your body in that fat burning mode, which is known as ketosis. That's why so many people find the keto diet to be popular. Keto or ketosis is a state that your body's in, it should be in almost every day, but it should fluctuate. You should be able to have carbohydrates. You should be able to be running on fats. Carbs are quick and easy to digest. Your body stops burning fat almost immediately after you eat any form of carbohydrates. So that's why fats and protein in your first meal is going to keep you in fat burning mode. One of the main benefits to this too is it's going to prevent any afternoon slump. So you'll maintain steady energy throughout the day. And I want to really emphasize, you do not need to be afraid of healthy fat. I think fat has gotten unfairly demonized, but it is vital for your brain, for your hormones. There are certain vitamins that are called fat-soluble vitamins that you can only absorb when you're eating fat. And if you're afraid of cholesterol, you need to know this. Your body adjusts its cholesterol production and absorption based on your diet. You can absolutely lower your cholesterol and improve your heart health, even with animal foods that are filling, nutritious, low in calories, high in protein, high in healthy fats. I have a couple other videos where I share other blood markers. Like my cholesterol is basically perfect. I have 4 eggs every single day. I eat meat probably 5 times a week, 4 to 5 times a week. But I don't have high cholesterol. It's because I don't eat simple carbohydrates. That's what leads to high cholesterol. So I have a whole entire video, a separate video on that if you're interested. Let's go to step number 5, which is don't drink your calories. So the 4 main sources of liquid calories for people, to no surprise, alcohol, soda, sports drinks, milk, and fruit juice. And as I mentioned above, As soon as you eat carbohydrates, it stops your body from burning fat. And unfortunately, many popular drinks, even the ones that some people think are healthy, like sports drinks or milk and fruit juice, which sometimes have their place, it's going to cause your body to immediately stop burning fat. And if you want to protect your metabolism and your ability to burn fat for energy, you really need to be mindful of this. Milk and fruit juice are two that are overlooked frequently, but they also have high calories and sugar. And if you have no health concerns at all, they can be fine in moderation. But if you're trying to lose weight or improve your energy levels, those are two things that can be really helpful to cut out in the short term. Unfortunately, calories from drinks just are not filling at all. Most times they just leave you feeling more hungry. And so you're going to need other options that are not going to make you overeat and put on weight. So let's move to pillar number 2, exercise. Part 1 of this is timing. So maybe you've tried a gym routine, you've gone and 3 to 5 times a week, you hit every major muscle group, or you've done a bunch of cardio, but eventually you fall off because it just takes a ton of time. So you might have travel, long workouts, many days a week. On days when work gets crazy and family duty, you have kids or you need to take care of or pick up from daycare or school, you just end up skipping because you run out of time. And at the end of the day, sometimes you're just exhausted. So some people blame themselves for lack of discipline, but that's not the problem. The real problem is having a routine that doesn't align with your work and family life. So I recommend you target a weekly movement goal and find flexible exercise windows to hit your goal. So visually, here's an example. You may have a 60-minute window right after work. You might have a 30-minute window early in the morning, could be as early as 5, 6 a.m. You might have a 15-minute window around lunch where you just go for a walk or you do some bodyweight squats or push-ups. Your goal is to have a weekly target that's time-based. So I recommend for most of my clients 90 minutes a week. And I would say the majority of them find that that's most easily hit when they do 3 30-minute workouts per week. I recommend trying to target something that's at least moderate, but even if you started by doing walks, that's a great starting point. And obviously, if you're a busy parent with a professional life, you really need short, medium, and long-term options with flexible exercise formats. That's really how you're going to be able to build a system that you can be consistent with for life. It should not take away from your work, family, or social life. It should align with it perfectly. So part number 2 to this is equipment. And I really want to emphasize this point. Unless you're trying to be a bodybuilder or a fitness influencer, there's no need for you to go to the gym. The gym can be a fantastic resource. You should have options. That's the bottom line. It's more important that you don't find exercise a chore and that you hit your weekly target and you nail your nutrition basics. If you do this, you can get in absolutely fantastic shape and fantastic health without a gym membership. That's why most of my clients love having at-home options. You can do amazing workouts at home with just body weight, or you can take it to the next level, getting a couple pieces of equipment. Some of the ones that I like, things like kettlebells is probably my favorite piece of exercise equipment. You really only need a single kettlebell to do tons of different exercises. Dumbbells are great. Resistance bands are great. So I mean, you could grab a brick. You could do it with your child. It's like, okay, maybe not with your child, but any options that you can come up with at home and get creative, it's going to give you so much flexibility. And that leads me to part 3. It's going to give you variety. Doing the same workouts every week or every day is so boring. Variety is the spice of life, right? I think we can all agree on that. You can absolutely learn to enjoy exercise, especially when it involves a variety of activities. So maybe you like things like pickleball or walking or hiking with your family or just hopping on a bike if you have a bike at home and doing a quick workout class. If you throw in a few customized strength workouts or time-based circuits or even reps if you're doing bodyweight squats or push-ups, stuff you can do at home, you're going to be absolutely golden. You really don't need much. Here's an example of a workout library that I use. I share this with some of my clients, or I come up with exercise circuits for them that they can do at home. You want to give yourself variety. It's a game changer. It helps you prevent getting bored with your exercise routine. It helps with consistency. Part number 4 is exercise snacks. So I've alluded to this a couple times, but one of the biggest mistakes I see clients making is falling into all or nothing thinking. And I used to do the same exact thing. I'd say, I can't make it to the gym today. I guess I'll try and make it tomorrow. You don't need to do a 60-minute or 45 or 30-minute or even a 15-minute workout to make progress. Actually, in fact, if just by stopping and doing 10 bodyweight squats before you head off to work, it actually has a biochemical ripple effect that improves your metabolism and your motivation for the entire day. You generate motivation by taking action and by giving yourself evidence that you are getting healthier. So it may sound crazy. It's based in science. I promise. I've done a ton of research on this. I've seen it with my own life. I've seen it with tons of clients, which is why exercise snacks are part of all my programs. Again, you're busy. You deserve multiple options that are going to help you make progress in 5 minutes or less. So get creative here and don't be afraid to just drop on the ground and do 50 push-ups, even if you have to take 49 breaks. So pillar 3, stress. This is one most people looking to lose weight and improve their health, they focus on the basics. They look at a calorie deficit, cardio, cutting back on sweets, eating more fruits and vegetables. Don't get me wrong, those are all important. That is a great start. But many people make the mistake of overlooking stress and the impact that it has on your hormones. Your hormones can absolutely make or break your health goals, which is why I always create a personalized stress management system for each client to improve things like their mood, their energy, motivation, metabolism. Hormones are so important. In simple terms, they influence everything. They are the chemical messengers that travel around your body that allow all of your systems to communicate with one another. Here are just a couple examples. You have ghrelin, your hunger hormone, leptin, your satiety hormone or feeling full hormone, dopamine, your motivation hormone, cortisol, one of your stress hormones, oxytocin, the love and bonding hormone, serotonin, your happiness and contentment hormone, testosterone, your main energy hormone, which is critical for lean muscle, mood and motivation, metabolism, and fat burning for both men and women, by the way. So stress is often confused and seen as this mental issue, but it actually manifests physically. So lower energy and negative mood, higher blood sugar and belly fat storage, higher anxiety or racing heart or thoughts, slower metabolism and less muscle building, weakened immune system, more sickness, higher blood pressure, risk of strokes and heart attack, intense hunger cravings for high sugar and high fat foods. This is all terrible. You don't want any of that. That is a manifestation of your hormones, and it's terrible for losing weight and improving your health, which is why stress management needs to be part of your system. This pillar was one of the things that was missing for me for a very long time, and after going through my injuries and dealing with the loss and overdose of my best friend, this was absolutely critical and changed my entire life, the way that I sort of approached managing stress throughout my day. So pillar number 4 is sleep. When it comes to your metabolism, most people think about diet and exercise, but improving your sleep also has a huge impact. It balances your blood sugar, so you're less likely to store fat when you're well slept. It improves and balances your mood and hunger hormones, so you're also less likely to comfort eat. It creates higher feelings of motivation, so you're more likely to stick to your diet and your training plan. It creates higher testosterone, which again improves energy, mood, motivation, fat burning. It also speeds up your metabolism, so you burn more calories naturally when you're well slept. You can literally have a perfect nutrition and exercise strategy, but if you don't optimize for your sleep quality and quantity, you're building a house without a foundation. So a few final words. The above strategies are the ones that I used and have adapted to help all my clients get similar results. But for me personally, it was losing 52 pounds of fat, putting on 20 pounds of muscle, slowing down my biological age, which was pretty cool, depending on how accurate you believe those tests are. And I did this all while eating delicious foods that I love and using flexible training options for only 90 minutes a week. The last thing I want to mention is it's absolutely critical that your system is also 3 things. It has to be personalized. You're unique, and your system and approach should definitely reflect that. It should be extremely simple. Do not overcomplicate things. Simple solutions are always the best solutions, and they're the easiest to stick to. You're only going to be consistent if this is simple. And the last piece is to make sure that it's incremental. If you try and change your entire life overnight, you are going to get so overwhelmed. You need a plan that's incremental, that's going to allow you to take small steps, because those are the ones that lead to sustainable, long-lasting results. If you and I are having a conversation on some platform via DM about your health and the systems you use, and I sent you this, then let's just continue chatting there. Feel free to ask me any questions on any platform, and I'll try to get back to you whenever I get to it. But hopefully this was helpful, and we'll talk soon.